Hello there, commanders, and welcome to our final episode of our epic journey, for which I guided special of how to get out of early game. Judging by the most recent developments, I may not be doing so well, so let's see if by the end of this episode we can set him on a straight path again. This episode might be longer than usual. Instead of aiming for 30 minutes, we're aiming for 1 hour. But it might be longer, it might be shorter. It really depends on how things develop. And we have no idea, obviously. So, let's just start. Let's get on with it. Special. Go ahead and get on with it. After my super long intro. That took over 30 seconds.
Of course, and I think I was going to...
Yeah, I guess a little bit of an update for viewers. It has been a while since we last played. Last week, sometime last week. So just for the viewers, they had a week of a break, and so did we.
Yeah. Convenient. Now let's see, what can I recruit here?
Yeah. And also possibly, just like the viewers, I also had to go back and watch the previous episode to remember where we finished. And rather, what the hell happened?
I have time, yes.
Yeah, build those on, or rather recruit those only once they're one turn away.
Yep. Okay.
You could also use global recruitment here. See, one slot is already occupied somewhere else.
Wonder where.
Probably at Galleon's Graveyard. I think you lost one unit and you're replenishing it.
Yep. Okay. So let's build two of those. Let's build one of those, one of those. One of those, one of those. Oh. Who haven't I moved? Oh, that's right.
Wow, you have a win even without Lightning Strike, but it is truly a Pyrrhic victory, yes.
Okay. So we'll resolve this.
And nice little casualties. 3 units suffer a little bit more than low. That's acceptable.
Yep. Okay.
Well, you have enough movement range to attack the city after you deal with the other army as well?
I have a feeling I might not.
I see. Anyway, in terms of Croak, you could upgrade the last spell. Put the last upgrade in the spell that you're lacking. Yeah, it lowers the cost, right? So then it will go down to 9.
Yes.
I think it will be pretty nice.
Yes, it would be very nice. And I suppose the question is, do I fight this army to the field or go straight to the garrison?
Yeah, that is quite a big dilemma. Okay, if you beat that army in the field, if they fight you, you beat them. You may or may not have enough movement range to pursue them and finish them off. So let's say you don't finish them off. That is the worst case scenario. What can then happen is that they can bring out the army out of the city and attack you 2v1, which would be pretty bad. If you attack the city, they cannot escape from there. You are guaranteed to wipe out that army, and then the other army can at most besiege you. Well, they can also probably just attack on the first turn, depending on whether or not they have a siege attacker, or maybe the gates are broken down. But you then have the support of garrison, you have walls, so you should have an advantage in that. So I would say go attack the city.
Yeah, okay.
That's essentially the thought process you need to always go through when going through such dilemmas. Essentially calculate the worst possible scenario for all possible of your actions and see which worst scenario is the least worst. Or the least bad, rather.
Yeah, okay.
Well, and I imagine you want to fight this one manually, because otherwise you lose the entire army. Let's go. I mean, we fought here 2 times already, I think. You should know the map by now. Even I remember it.
Yeah. Just had to make sure. I was just saying, I miss my army full of monsters.
You don't have to miss it. It's still there. Just not here.
I know. Okay.
Well, we know the procedure, right?
Yep. And yes, this side. I wanna.
I just squeeze them in properly so that the tower doesn't shoot you.
Yep.
Because you also somehow always manage to get shot. And I need to fix that mid-battle. If you're clicking them... Oh no, you're not clicking them there. You can just click on them on the unit list. You don't have to go back and forth with your camera like that. It'll be much faster. See?
Yep.
Yeah, they're doing that, but sure. Okay.
Alright. I think they are outside of the line.
They should be. Hopefully.
Okay.
It looks like it.
Yeah, okay.
They are.
Okay. And
Also, that tower doesn't reach towards the end of the battlefield. It has range to about here. You still have this space. Well, you're not even looking at it. Whatever. I drew it on the map.
oh,
It showed on the minimap.
I see it.
Well, I guess the difference now is that we're not fighting lizardmen, we're fighting dwarves.
Yes.
They do have a little bit more ranged units. Start using explosion spells on top of the walls. Dwarf warriors, great weapons. I mean, they do have a lot of XP and it is very hard difficulty, so they can be a little bit formidable, but it's still lower tier unit. Or miners.
Yeah.
Do I have any good infantry? Longbeards with great weapons, but just 1 unit. Dwarf warriors, great weapons. That's a little bit. That's mid tier, let's say. Between miners and also dwarf warriors. Yeah, so miners are the lower tier. That's tier 1. Dwarf warriors tier 2. Longbeards tier 3. I don't have any tier 4 units. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. So you should be fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna try. Yeah, that was decent. And they didn't bother moving. But as a dwarf, so all of them have 25% magic resistance. Oh, why do we get a pause?
I don't
And
know.
slow motion. Well, it's due to internet problems, most likely. Ah, well,
Okay.
it already no disconnect, so it should go back to normal speed after the internet catches up. So, what are you up to?
Um, I'm debating whether I should send a Croxigor or Gorak himself.
Can you climb the walls in here? Like here?
Can. No, you can't.
Yeah, I'll
It's only
figure.
on.
Can you climb here?
Oh yeah, it's only on this edge that I can climb.
That could be a good starting point. Also, if you want to break down the gate, we have also been through it last time around. Just use your commander, he's super resistance to everything.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
correct.
35% ward save, then 20 physical resistance on top of that, and also 15% missile resistance on top of that.
Yep.
So altogether, from missiles that aren't magical, and they aren't magical in case of dwarves, you have 70% resistance. And I can also drop another magic spell on top of you that gives you plus 40. So it'll get you to the limit, which I don't know what is. Which we have also covered last time.
Yes.
Also, once you start attacking the gate, they won't be able to shoot you anymore.
Yep.
You can also do quadruple speed, so you can get on with it.
Yep.
Okay, there we go, the gate's been broken. Yeah, you can send in your commander, make them clamp up around him. I can use explosion spells around that. And in terms of what infantry to send, I would just send everything. With Croxigos leading the way.
Yes. Damage. Rest. Okay.
One of their units dodged the explosion. Interesting. You can use your flying units to target the ranges that are shooting you.
Useless.
Target the range units further back with your flying units. This
Oh,
one.
yeah. What the?
What is it?
My units are being strange.
Nice, so to get routed nicely. Try focusing your croc cigars on the enemy commander.
Yep.
Oh, they have miners of exposing charges. Watch out on them. But no, they've pretty much already used all of their ammunition.
You're gonna be lost.
Nice, those are routed. You want of corals left. I thought they would run away from your melee units as they are ranged in and get a little bit more into the spell, but apparently I was wrong. See? We're at the final episode and I'm still learning.
Woohoo!
Well, everything's routed. There are only 3 units left in the center. I know there's still 2 units that are retreating. Watch out, you're getting your ranges into melee.
Yep. If you're done with that.
How the hell are they still not terrified? I need to get closer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I apply terror, right? Yeah, I do. I think you should just run down the cannons of trying to shoot their crew. Just get into melee with them so they'll stop shooting. And there we go, all of them run. Oh well, the founders don't want to run. Okay, there we go.
There we go. Woohoo!
I've got some nice shots in directing. After all, it's the final episode. I imagine more people would watch this one, so I'll put some extra effort. Wow, the cannon actually did a lot of the kills. I thought it wasn't shooting for a very long time.
Yeah.
I guess it was hard to see. Also, I wasn't really looking. I was just looking for where the blobs are for me so I can blow them up. And then I was doing cool YouTuber zoom-ins. As a proper YouTuber should.
Of course. Gotta get those cinematic shots.
I actually loaded ahead of you. Correct.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think when we were loading into the battle, I was maybe also slightly ahead of you, but it was pretty much simultaneous.
Okay.
We got Fan Waver.
Woohoo.
Yeah, and your army is in very good shape, so if that army that is outside attacks you, you should be more than fine. But it may also go somewhere else. Then again, Yellow Oasis is the most important strategic point in that area, so you might just lose a less important strategic point.
Maybe. That's right, I have this as well.
You do have this, yes.
Can't get it this turn.
Yeah, just attack one of their armies. The one that's right ahead of you.
Stands.
I think we're
Fine.
beyond ambushes. Oh yeah, you weren't at war with them. Yeah, but you weren't in a position to go out to go to war with them. Now you are.
True. Alright.
Yep, decisive victory. Just take it.
Money, I guess. This. That. If anything else. That's right. Krug.
Oh, another level up. Nice. What does exorcism do? It's shit.
Plus for leadership.
It's absolutely useless. Don't get it. I mean, at this point, I think he just got pretty much everything. Might as well just give him the missile resistance. Yeah, sure. Or public order and research rate. That was also good. Could be helpful on the campaign map. But yeah, I think at this point you have everything that's really good. And now we're just giving him the bonus points.
Yes. Okay. Might as well just parachute as well. That, I guess. Do research. What the fuck do I even do? Okay. Get that. And back to you. I guess.
Loyalty is rewarded.
Rara. Okay, so just need to end your turn.
Yep.
Her light shines upon me.
Okay, there was a lot of trades gained, which we have been through. So a little bit of information for you viewers, because I have done some cutting here and there. We had a desync, so we loaded up the autosave. So that's why I'm doing my turn from the beginning again. Yeah, as especially selected Ariel the Ever Queen. So shall I. Also, yeah, your stream is now much louder. I can hear every single click very loudly. And also arrows flying past. Yeah, previously your stream was a little bit too low, so I boosted it up, and now suddenly it's super loud, but yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, I shall make Crisis Immortal, which I have already done, so it's kind of awkward because of the desync. Also, you know, we are literally at episode 75, so we have played, let's say, for around 40 hours. And it's the first time we got a desync. So, not bad, I guess. Could have been better. Could have been 0 desyncs.
Yes.
Anyway.
Journeying on.
Servant of light.
The greater good.
And this guy runs away like a little bitch he is.
Padre.
Where is their second army? Where's their second army? Hibiscus. Too far away to reinforce, but he could just run away and sort of
Elf One's queen.
combine them.
Defender of the Ever Queen.
Well, I will be ready to land in Galleon's graveyard next turn.
Okay.
Sailing away. Sailing on.
I'll just position myself here. And maybe I could chase him down next turn. We'll see. Anyway, now let's get back to business in Badlands. Arcleon. I'll give him dedicated to Hukon. Myself some more campaign range. For this campaign, I can go to Al Hakik.
For order.
My lady will not allow it.
They probably killed this army. Whatever. You can do that. It's super weak.
My lady will not
Elfarian. Okay. The other thing I've noticed is that last episode, I noticed that. Where is it? Here was some Wa called by the Broken Axe. And I went to diplomacy and saw they have 2 provinces, so 2 settlements. I was like, okay, so one's here and the second one must be here. But no, I forgot that they have the second one here. So why the hell does Wa show up in here? Do they have an army in here? What is happening?
We stand ready for action.
I mean, kind of given that it is the end of the campaign. And then Seymour can either go here to Skaven territory, which is far away. He can go here to fight against Britannia, which is also kind of far away. I might just send him there and see what's up.
We go.
I light the way.
Just out of curiosity, like, why the hell is there wine there? Mishet, he beat Sneakage over the end turn. He's also dedicated to Hukon. Should give him Master Strategist. He's 2 ranks away from a Star Dragon, but I guess on rank 20 you give him Immortality, and then on 21 you give him the Star Dragon. But for now, it is Sky Master, so just in case, if I want to go with him for a Dragon army instead of an Archer army, I have both of those available. Dr. Scott has also become immortal at the same turn as Crisis.
If you will.
Can I attack Black Iron Mine? No. Oh, hello there. Hello there, times 3. Looks like I can attack this guy. Yeah, but the armies are forced gain saves. Even if they attack me 2v1, I should win. How much movement? I have 57. I might just encamp in here. Yeah.
Treading lightly.
Onward.
Preparing camp.
And let's see what they do. Alarion has moved. Spanats besieges. Max besieges. Quo has moved. Bro. Let's make him lick his wounds, let's say. Here for 1 turn as he recruits. And increase the public order. That's the time where I can heal this shit up. I think it will matter. Campaign movement range plus 10% for everybody. So good. Such a good tech. No good rights available. Ever pants in my prison. I shall indoctrinate her for shits and giggles.
Swear fealty to Moranians.
YOLO.
Let's keep going. Dexterous. I guess he's also replenishing. Yeah, I remember we had the entire story here. Maybe I'll put in an artillery piece. I could do an artillery piece. Just sit here and replenish. Do you like me a little bit more now? 56. Would you like...
Why do you seek me?
Doesn't like this. What if I pay you all of my money? He really doesn't like me, even though he's very friendly. Yeah, that has become a meme pretty much throughout the entire campaign. This is the meme of the legendary difficulty, and I guess of very hard difficulty as well. And I guess I am bugged out, because there's no way why I should still have very low reliability. What am I doing to deserve it? What am I not understanding? If it's not a bug. Well, maybe somebody in the comments will tell me. But I guess that's the end of my turn. As I start lagging. It's not a good sign. Let's just end the turn. Why did my FPS drop so low? I don't like it. Okay, the two armies may be within reinforcement range. No, they're not. I should be able to chase them down. But that also puts me further away from Galleon's graveyard. Yeah, they want something from you? Is it war? It is war. Interesting.
Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah, you have war with one of the dwarves and suddenly all of them hate you. I mean, it's literally the meme. First time. First time you have been declared war on randomly for no reason.
Yeah, like, I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm trading with them. Why?
That'll drop their reliability and everybody will hate them. Well, that would be the case. Why did you call me in? I guess it's because you want to call Cult of Sadek as well. Yeah, but I want to be on good terms with the dwarves. You know? Because if the big dwarves go after me, then I am fucked. And they attack you immediately. Yeah, so we're like, oh
yes.
No, they have military axes. That's why they're just passing by, right? But where the hell could they be going? Now, this is very low reliability. He used military axes to just go through your territory and attack an undefended settlement.
That's...
That is a stab in the back if I have ever seen one.
I'm gonna have to auto-resolve that.
I mean, that was also kind of predictable. Because
Yes.
it is Total War AI, which declares wars for no reason. And only against the player.
Oh.
I mean, they were literally at war with Sentinels of Zeti, which is right next to them. Throughout the entire game, they haven't done anything to them. They still have the same territory, both sides. And now they do this.
Man.
Anyway, we need to reach some kind of conclusion here, I believe, in this campaign, after all.
Yes.
So, let's do a little bit of theory crafting. Maybe this will be the end. I mean, we are recording for over 1 hour, but half an hour possibly can be cut out because of the desync. So yeah, I'll switch back to my perspective. Let's just close it out, give the campaign our final thoughts. So first I'd like to start with what would happen in the next few turns, right? What would be our plans? What I could do is I could just close the sieges of Kalidor and what I called Kotik. That frees up 2 full armies that I have. Well,
None shall live.
1.5. But I could bring this army up to 20 units within 2 turns, so no problem. As it goes towards support. So, I could easily send those 2 armies down to you to help you. And with 4 High Elven armies landing in there, we would bring order to their lands. Also, if it wasn't the end of the campaign, I wouldn't have YOLO'd into the ancient city of Quintex, just out of curiosity and for shits and giggles, which wouldn't have caused the war with Alifanar out of nowhere, and I would get the Confederation with them. That would be nice. But that's just the end of series meme, I guess. And I would be fighting Nagaron in the north, using the confederated armies of Alifanar. Badlands, they look pretty good. As long as the dwarves don't start to hate me. And my relationship with them is still improving. So I don't think they would attack me, hopefully. Let's see. Are you willing to trade at this point? Oh, I cannot ask it because it's your turn.
Yes.
Let's say they want to trade with me. Eventually. Grom the Paunch, which is my main adversary, has beaten so many times over. And I'm literally running him down the Veltharion. I don't have access to this province though. Well, I will need to cross the water here with some army. I'm just hoping dwarves will finally do it. And it looks like they do have an army that they're preparing to take Zvorak finally. So Grom the Paunch is as good as finished at this point. I am also Strength rank 1. Not by far, but I am Strength rank 1. Are you checking that to confirm?
I'm checking my strength rank.
You're 11. Am I 1 or have I lied? You can just sort it by strength rank. I am number 1.
Yes.
Please sort it by strength rank. Yeah, second is Nagarond, and you can see a little bit of a difference there. But anyways, Nagarond, Karazakarak, and then there's a huge drop off for Kut of Sotek. Quite a big one. So yeah, that is an interesting campaign ahead of us, but it would just take so much time. The turns take so long, and auto-resolve hates us. We cannot auto-resolve pretty much a single battle. It all has to be fought manually. And, well, for YouTube viewers, maybe it's good. So please let us know. How do you feel about the balance of just time in the videos? 50% campaign, 50% battles. I personally am more fan of the campaign. You know, all the management, movement of your armies, outmaneuvering the enemies, and just the battles are supposed to be a formality, just acknowledgement of your superiority on the campaign map. But they aren't formality because auto-resolve hates us, and the battles that should be easy victories in in manual resolve, and then turns out they were. In auto-resolve, they come out either as Pyrrhic victories or even losses. So, there's that. And as for you, you're doing well in Southlands, aka Africa. You're also on a straight there. You have dealt with the dwarves that have suddenly declared war on you. I'm running down the Bretonnians, who have really, really shit armies. And I could bring another army of Ansima if I haven't sent them over there. So yeah, I think in Badlands / Africa we're really, really good.
Yes.
Would be a little bit bad if the dwarves declare war me. I would struggle against them. But they aren't an unbeatable opponent. I mean, they don't have monsters, they have just waves of heavy armored infantry, which is just, again, a stat check. Can I deal enough damage to them before they punch through? And their armor kind of helps them mitigate my damage. So there's that. And then in Lastria, you have been very unlucky with also bullshit wars, as I also have been throughout this entire campaign. So you're just now tasting it. But as soon as we deal with Galen's Graveyard, you bring that super powerful army of yours down there. You also have a shit ton of money. All you need to do, all you need is just time to recruit another super powerful army, which at this point you can afford, thanks to your conquests in Africa as well.
Yeah.
Among many other reasons, as well as just building up your gold mines and whatnot. So yeah, I would say you would also be fine, especially with up to 4 armies of mine coming to help you. I mean, if I was fighting Nigarond, which I'm not at the moment, I could send those 2 armies that I have in Wolf 1 up north. And well, third one, which shouldn't have been there. So yeah, I think it would be fine. Also, I could recruit armies very quickly as well. So it all would be fine. So, now that we have that out of the way, that we are doing well, we're well set up for good endgame finish, because we have carried through the early game, which is the most difficult one. We've carried well. We have finished the mid game as well, sort of. Well, let's say we're towards the end of mid game, and we are about to enter late game. And we are well set up for the late game, I would say.
Yeah.
So now, what did you learn special?
Guess how to better play in Warhammer 2, I guess.
That's very general. Can you be a little bit more specific?
I suppose helping grow my empire, so to speak.
So which buildings to
add on.
pick, what reasons to look at when deciding what to build? How about movement of armies? For example, we had just in this episode at the beginning a dilemma down there in Africa. If you could point your camera there. You know, 2 armies. So if you were to encounter similar situations in your solo campaigns, would you feel much more confident in there? Would you be able to, you know, do the same sort of analysis that I did?
Yes, I think I could.
Would you like to
Yes,
elaborate?
I would. Yes, I would be able to look at a situation and assess it more confidently,
Yeah, well,
as you could say.
we can put that to test because Warhammer 3 is coming. And the big news just dropped. For the viewers, it was a year ago, pretty much. More or less. Depends on when exactly this episode will be published. But more or less a year ago. That there will be 8 players multiplayer in campaign. And I already talked to you about it, but let's bring the viewers up to speed, which maybe they already were. Weird timeline, right? Essentially, we're planning to do a big 4v4, good versus evil, on Mortal Empires, or whatever it will be called, the equivalent of it, in Warhammer 3. And I still don't know if it will be available on release or later. Because when the Warhammer 2 released at the beginning, there was only the Vortex campaign, and Mortal Empires came about a month later, I believe. I don't remember exactly, it was, what, 3-4 years ago when Warhammer 2 released? Some time ago. So yeah. From what I've seen, there wasn't a single mention. I mean, they mentioned Mortal Empires, that it will be available, and that this 8-player campaign will be available in Mortal Empires as well, if people want to do it. And they haven't said anything about Mortal Empires being delayed at the release. So I don't know whether maybe they're just treating it as something obvious that it will be delayed, or maybe they're just treating it as, well, it is obvious that it will be available on release, because why wouldn't it, right?
Yeah.
Because it is understandable for Warhammer 2. It was a new thing, stitching two campaigns together, but now they have experience. Also, the release of Warhammer 3 itself was delayed, so maybe if it wasn't delayed, Mortal Empires would have come late. But now that the release was delayed, maybe Mortal Empires will be available from the very beginning. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm hyped to see, and we'll find out pretty soon, depending on what we'll play. So I was planning to do 2 co-op campaigns, one with Crysis and one with you. But now that we have this 8-player campaign on our hands, maybe we'll try it. The biggest challenge, obviously, is the logistics of it, because you need to consistently get same 8 players at the same time over multiple sessions. And as long as one person, something comes up and they cancel the gaming session, it falls apart for everybody else as well. Unless we somehow bring in a replacement, but I don't know about that. It also depends on how it will be done in Warhammer 3 itself, but that's kind of beyond the point. I mean, at this point, where this goes live, we'll know answers to all of these questions, essentially, so maybe a little bit pointless to wonder about that. But, for myself, I have also learned quite a bit. Or rather, maybe not learned, but just reminded myself. So it's a good thing that we did this Warhammer 2 campaign before Warhammer 3, so now that I go into Warhammer 3, I won't have to remember going through that painful process, because if I had remembered how to play Warhammer 2 campaign from the very beginning, I wouldn't have made so many mistakes in the early game, which is the most important because it sets you up for later. For example, the biggest thing is I wouldn't invest in the economy buildings as first, so not the Elven Fairground industry buildings, but I would go for growth first. Because when you have a level 1 settlement and you have only 1 building slot, you can build growth, get to level 2 very quickly, and just a few turns later get the industry building. And you won't miss out on much gold that way. But if you go gold first, then you need to wait longer, quite significantly longer at that, until your growth catches up and allows you to build this second tier, or second building, and also tier 2. The basic concept gives you plus 18 growth, and level 1 settlement gives you 8 growth. So this more than doubles the speed. It more than triples the speed, actually. So yeah. Going growth first is definitely the way to go, and I wish I had realized that sooner. What else? I mean, we have also completely neglected the management of our followers and whatnot, and items. I guess the campaign would be slightly easier if we had been doing so. We did allocate 1 or 2 episodes for that.
Yeah.
But I was in the middle and we just did it once. What I could have done is just do it behind the scenes. But I don't know. When we had time to record, we just recorded instead of just doing something behind and not recording. What else have I learned? Like properly learned. Reminded myself of. It really comes to my mind specifically, really, because all of the stuff I have done in here, I have already done in the past. So I have that experience. It's kind of hard to pinpoint what I knew and what I remembered, because what I remembered I also knew, just forgot. But one thing that's stuck out to me was that do grow first, economy second, rather than the other way around. But overall, if you were to sum up this campaign, what I've noticed is that I always feel as if I'm falling behind, because even right now, it's not 100% perfect, right? The situation is 100% under control. It is challenging, which is good. That is the thing that keeps it entertaining, because it isn't too easy, but at the same time, it isn't too hard. It's a really nice, good balance. And it doesn't really matter between very hard and legendary. The only difference is really the public order penalty, which holds you back a little bit more. But I was watching and comparing what kind of progress I have after 50 or 100 turns, for example, compared to Legend of Total War, which I think he would be much better than I am. But I look at my progress after those 50 or 100 turns, look at his progress, and I find out that I am pretty much on the same level, even though he's much more confident, knows all the cheese and whatnot. So I'm not that bad, I guess. But I still do mistakes that he wouldn't do, just because he has literally 20,000 hours in this game or something. Whereas I have, what, 200, 300 hours in this game? Plus Warhammer 1, that's another probably 300, 400. In Warhammer 1, I just did 2 full campaigns, and that's it. I did a Dwarven campaign, I did the Chaos campaign. In full. And then I did some multiplayer here and there, played some Empire, played some Bretonnia, I think. I mean, I played Bretonnia plus Empire, but I don't remember who was playing what. Whether I was playing the Empire and my ally, Bretonnia, or the other way around. But I just have overall experience from all the Total Wars in the past. The most I probably played Rome 1, actually, when I was little. Medieval 2 a little bit, but not as much as Rome 1. But I did play Hot Seats. And in Hot Seats, it's not about time, it's not about speed, it's about efficiency. So you squeeze out 100% out of every single turn. So yeah, let's end this episode with an anecdote.
Alright.
So I had a YouTuber friend. We both started a Chaos campaign on the release of Warhammer. I played on Legendary. He played on hard. I think maybe he started on very hard, failed, and then started playing hard. But whatever the case may be, he played on some lower difficulty. And we both took 30 episodes to finish our campaign. From beginning to finish, to final battle and victory screen. And our episodes both were on average 30 minutes long. So it took us the same time to finish our campaign. For me it was higher difficulty level, but let's put it out of the comparison, let's say. The difference is that I finished my campaign in 200 turns. He finished his campaign in, I think it was over 700 or 800 turns. So in the same time, he did 3 to 4 times as many turns as I did. So overall time to finish the campaign was the same, but turn-wise, much different. It's very interesting, which means his turns weren't as efficient. And whatever things he's gotten himself into, but turn 700 or 800, and also just within 15 hours? Wow. That's also some kind of achievement. The takeaway is make your turns efficiently, because after 200 turns, I was dealing with weaker opponents because they had fewer turns to grow. He was going against tier 5 full armies, whereas by turn 200, well, I imagine a lot of them were tier 5 as well, but fewer of them, because I was more efficient. And that's why also I was able to finish it sooner and on higher difficulty level, I guess. But yeah, that's the end of the anecdote. The end of our final episode. I imagine some big battle as the conclusion, but Cult of Sotek runs away. And yeah, the recording is getting long. Then again, we had a desync, but we're also running out of time in real life. So there's that. And we had that big satisfying conclusion on episode 71. It was meant to be at the end, but we just got there a bit sooner.
Yes. Yes.
So how overall are you satisfied, Special?
I'm actually really satisfied with how it's panned out. I thought we would have gotten a few more turns in, but
Yeah, we are literally less than 1 turn per episode. And that's because of all the battles. We literally had an episode, 30 minutes long, where we had 2 battles fought during AI's turn. One, you have been attacked, the second one, I have been attacked, and that took us 30 minutes. And the progress in turns was 0. So yeah, I guess those auto-resolves screwed us up. Or rather, manual resolves, because auto-resolves wouldn't give us the victories we have rightfully deserved. And sadly, from what I've seen and heard, is that auto-resolve in Warhammer 3 is going to be punished even more. So the discrepancy between the result that the auto-resolve gives you and the one you can easily achieve without even breaking a sweat is quite huge. Here, it has been very different here and there. For you due to Croak, for me due to Archer spam, which works in a different way. Auto-resolve doesn't count it the way it actually works on the battlefield.
So, as well.
And also, I need to capture prisoners, which is unique to this one particular faction, because there have been a lot of battles I could have auto-resolved, but I didn't because I needed those prisoners.
Yeah.
So how would you rate your campaign out of 10? How satisfied are you, or how well do you think you're doing?
I reckon a 10 out of 10 so far.
Really? Okay.
Or 9, but...
I mean, okay, compared to your expectations going in, I guess you did much better than you have ever previously done, right?
Yes. Considering I also had to manually play a lot of my battles, where normally I would just try and auto-resolve.
Yeah, that hopefully taught you a lot as well, of skills that you could use later on in Arena, for example, which all of you watching, if you don't know what Total War Arena is, you should check it out. For myself, I would give myself 7.5 out of 10. Considering the early mistakes of not going for growth, there was some running in circles with enemy armies that shouldn't really have taken place. So I felt as if I lost a lot of time and potential in there. That if it had all just gone smoothly, and it possibly could just go smoothly, and then my situation right now in the campaign would have also been much better. I could have literally hundreds of thousands of gold if I just exploited fully went for exploiting the indoctrination thing. Also, I have looked into Legend of the War, how he played this campaign. I just watched the first episode a little bit to find out how to do the exploit. But he said at the beginning that Torivres is one of the hardest factions to play at the beginning because of the split. Because you have one province or one settlement in Ulf 1 and the second one in Badlands. And he gave advice that if people want to have an easy campaign with Torivres, just disband Elfarian's army, bring Elfarion over to Ulf 1, just completely abandon Badlands, focus entirely on Ulf 1, and you'll have a really easy time. Which is something I didn't. And I went for the very hard time, on the other hand, which is struggling Badlands. But Badlands turned out very well in the end. As soon as some reinforcements arrived and my economy got going, which it also, as I said, should have gotten going much earlier than it did because of my mistake. So yeah, I guess that's why I'm landing on 7.5 out of 10, because it could have been better in a few areas. But it didn't end that bad.
Oh, another thing I would like to add on is the magically appearing armies that the AI couldn't have been able to recruit in its single turn.
Yeah, well, it's just AI cheats. Yeah, that's something I don't like. I can understand, okay, you get bonuses, but at least play by the same rules, right? If you recruit a lord on the end turn, he gets to recruit on the next turn. Like the units should show up on the next turn, not just immediately. That's bullshit. Yeah. So cheats are fine, but play by the same rules. Same with diplomacy, right? Everybody just hates you. I have very low reliability for the entire game, because fuck me, that's why. It's also down to AI having cheats, or just, you know, the campaign difficulty throwing logs under your legs, if that's what you say in English, just to artificially slow you down. I like real challenge, real, let's say, impediment, but artificial impediment, not that big of a fan of.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, and I think, well, I've heard something of some kind of a beta patch, which by now should be applied, that sort of altered it and made the difficulty more natural rather than through cheats. But given what we saw here, not necessarily. On the other hand, I have always played on the highest possible difficulty level in all Total Wars, especially on Legendary ever since it came out in Shogun 2. So I'm kind of used to it. And I think it was the first time for you that you have played on very hard difficulty, right? Previously you have either played on normal or hard. So
Yes.
yeah, welcome to our world of struggling against the AI that has cheats.
Weren't we gonna play on Legendary originally?
No, we didn't go for Legendary because we couldn't save. And that's just inconvenient in terms of multiplayer campaigns.
Yeah, okay.
Like you saw, for example, we suffered a desync, and sometimes something happens, we need to go, whatever. Just being able to save at any point in time is just convenient for recording. If you want to go super hardcore, sure, you can go Legendary. But very hard provides just slightly easier experience. I would play Legendary. I'll take all the penalties that come with it, as long as I can save the game. Just, you know, for the convenience of I can go, right?
Yeah.
But because I mean, okay, you can cheat that, because you can literally take the file that is on your PC, which is the save, and you can just put it in a different folder, and then, no way. Because it only saves if you start a battle or end a turn. Or do some kind of hero action or something, I guess. But you cannot save in the middle of your turn, just as you wish. So you need to go back a little bit. So, yeah. If they just gave us a regular save for Legendary, then I would take the -8 public order across the Empire and everything else that comes with it. I don't know, higher upkeep for units, bigger supply lines, all that stuff. But yeah, that's our campaign summed up. Special is getting bored looking at his buildings.
Yeah.
So, I just end here. If anybody survived until the end, thank you for sticking with us. And when we reached our ending, satisfying, more or less, for us. Hopefully, it was also for you, the viewers, and hopefully you have also learned something as it's special, or maybe remembered something ahead of your own campaign, as did I. Well, that's been us, Misho and Special, and we sign off until the next campaign. See you there, whatever it may be, because this video will literally be published a year after it has been recorded. The wonders of YouTube.
Woo!